Today we're going to go through how you can build an AI chatbot for lead capture. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably have a business or you have clients that you're building AI automations for. Now, in the past, what you would do is build a normal form using Google Form, Typeform, Tally, something like that. And then you connect it to a AI automation, usually in something like make.com, in order to save their details and then maybe share some sort of value immediately and then eventually convert that lead into a meeting. Now, that all works pretty well, but depending on the industry or the niche that you're in, there is an increasing perception that traditional forms are boring and they also limit in what can be captured. AI chatbots are a bit more engaging, still relatively new, so people aren't tired of them yet. And then also you can structure AI chatbots in a way that you can deliver value immediately rather than, for example, sharing that value in an email after they've submitted the form. Now, that's not to say that there's no value in this, right? Like if you send them the value in an email after the form, it sort of validates their email as well. So it serves that additional purpose. But depending on the niche that you're in, it may be worth testing an AI chatbot to see if it increases your conversion rate from just seeing the form to capturing the details and then ultimately booking in a meeting or whatever your conversion event is. So down here, I've just got this like high level view of what a traditional flow looks like. You have a landing page, you've probably got your form embedded. So you capture the lead's details, the prospect's details. Sometimes you sort of have a lead magnet or a piece of value there that you share with them in order to incentivize them to complete the form. And usually you email that to them afterwards, or you just show it on the form afterwards, and then you book in a meeting. With a chatbot, this section of capturing details becomes a lot more fluid. So you can still capture things like name, email, and role, but because it's a conversation, you can sort of try to get the chatbot to capture a bit more qualitative information, right? So what are the lead's motivations? Why are they sort of even submitting this form? Why do they want the lead magnet? All that sort of stuff, right? And then in terms of the lead magnet, right? Traditionally, this is, a PDF or something like that. So you can link to it. But with an AI chatbot, you can give a tailored website analysis. So you can easily leverage the power of AI without necessarily building out a full AI automation afterwards. And then in terms of booking a meeting, you can also just have that be part of the AI chatbot. So the AI chatbot might qualify the lead after a short conversation and then say, if you want to book in a meeting, just click this link and takes them to your calendar link, right? Cool. So let's get straight into the build. What we're going to use for the AI chatbot is Dumpling AI. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go into the agents section. And to build a chatbot, I'm just going to press new AI agent and I'm going to create one from scratch. So here I'm going to call it the capture agent, and you can name this whatever you want. I'm just doing this because it's a tutorial, and I'm just going to say a helpful chatbot that seeks to understand the lead and then capture their details and then book a meeting as an example, right? You obviously need to tweak this depending on your use case. I'm going to use the generate prompt feature here in Dumpling AI just because writing a prompt from scratch is quite time consuming. So putting it in here lets Dumpling AI do a first draft of the prompt. So if we sort of let it load, we've got this prompt here. So let's have a look. Not too bad. Understanding the lead, ask open-ended questions, capturing details, booking a meeting. Use a scheduling tool. So we might say, as an example, to book in a meeting, share our Calendly link. And I'm not going to put in a real one just because it's a tutorial, but it'd be something like this, right? You just put it in your prompt, calendly.com/yang, something like this, right? Output format, JSON, we don't really need that. The output format JSON is more if you're integrating the AI agent into a automation, which we're not doing right now. And then polite, blah, blah, blah. So what's missing here is really the context around your business, right? So let's say I had a lead capture chatbot for Dumpling AI. I would want to put a lot more context around what Dumpling AI is into this chatbot. Because right now it's just a very generic chatbot. So if your prospects are talking to it, your chatbot's not going to be able to relate facts about your business and say like this part of our offering is really relevant to the customer based on their type of business, that sort of stuff. So if I was doing Dumpling AI, one way I could do it is I could literally just copy some of the copy here. So you can see I actually have a chatbot here to capture leads. So I could just copy some of Dumpling AI here. What I do is, because a lot of our users will reference our API. So what I actually do is just give the chatbot access to our API. So I just come in here and just say, I put it in the notes, just keep it simple. So before, if the user is interested in Dumpling AI functionality, you can access the docs to find relevant endpoints. And then just to give it access to that, I'm going to give this agent the ability to scrape any URL. So just visit that page. And then also might as well just give it access to the Dumpling AI website as well while we're at it. So I'm going to add this here. You can also access the Dumpling AI website here. And usually what I'll do is I'll just copy like most of the landing page and chuck it in here as well. So it has at least a bit of basic understanding without needing to access the website every single time. Cool. So right now the steps, in my opinion, are a bit too broad. You probably want to define it a bit more tightly if you want to build a chatbot. So it might be the first step should always be to capture details. The other way around it is if you don't want them to jump into a chatbot straight away, you can sort of start it as a form. So that's what I'm doing here, right? I'm starting this chatbot as a form. So what you can do is press start conversation with form, and you can start adding in form fields. So as an example, you might start with your name. So this is starting to combine like more of a traditional lead capture methodology with our AI chatbot, right? So what I'm going to say is, so I got capture the name. I'm going to capture, say, Bobby Smith. And then I'm going to capture their email, and then something usually will be like company name, or you might have something like motivation, or what are you hoping to achieve with Dumpling AI? Something like that, right? And you can obviously tweak this however you want. So basically what this will do is it starts off the chatbot as a form instead of the normal chat interface. But then once someone types in all their stuff, I want to automate my marketing, and I press start chat, what will happen is it turns it into a chat interface, but it feeds in all the data that we need from the get-go, right? And then the AI assistant can sort of take that and run with it. And here it's asking about additional details about marketing process. So like I said, you'd probably want to tighten up the steps here. So what I'm going to do now is really just add in a few more steps to what I want here. And then I'm going to also implement the actual lead capture step. So for lead capture, we're going to use Airtable. And we're going to use this just as a way to store all of our leads that we're capturing inside this conversation. So what I'm going to do is change this. And what we're going to do is capture details first, right? And then we're going to understand the lead next. So let me just update this. Diff not already provided, right? Once you have this information, save it to Airtable using the make.com tool. So what we will need to do is create another tool that calls a make.com automation, which means we need to build the actual make.com automation, right? So this make.com automation is basically save lead to Airtable. So I'm going to call that save lead to Airtable. I'll come in here and drag in a webhook, custom webhook, added webhook. So save lead to Airtable. So what a webhook is basically exposes an endpoint for our AI agent to call and send that lead data to. I'm gonna run this, which is, I need to copy that endpoint first. So I need to copy this endpoint. I'm gonna run this just so it's running. And then I'm going to come back to Dumpling AI, and then I'm gonna put in the webhook URL, and I'm gonna say what I want it to send. So I want the name, which is a string. I want the email, which is a string, and I want the company, which is a string, right? And with this, or maybe we didn't put in company. I don't remember what I put in the form, but you want this to match what you have in the form, as well as maybe any additional information that you want the AI agent to surface via conversation. So I've added that as an additional tool to the AI agent. And now what I'm going to do is start a new chat, and let's try that again. Dumpling.com, scale my content with AI. So I press start chat now. It's saved my information to Airtable, or it's made the call to make.com. So if I look here, it's passed in that information to make.com, which is very good, exactly what I want. And all I need to do next is save it to Airtable. So I'm going to set up my Airtable module. So I set up, connected to the base. It's just the untitled base because I just created this newly. And then what we want to do is set it up. So we got name, we need an email column, that's what we're missing. So we got email, this will be email. And then I think we wanted don't need this field, and we don't need this field, or we can leave it if we want, but I'll just keep it simple for the tutorial. And then we want motivation, which is more of a long text column. So let's just add that all in, right? And what we want to do is basically save into that table. So we've refreshed this. So we've got name, which is the name. This is email, which is the email, and then motivation, which is the motivation. So nice. So if we save this and we run it again, and then we come back into Dumpling AI and press new chat and just try that one more time. So we have name, and then we've got scale content with AI, and I press start chat. It will do all those things and also continue that conversation, right? It's scraping my website, it's scraping all that sort of stuff, and it's sort of giving me what I need, right? And it's trying to push me towards a meeting. So it's linking to that Calendly link in the instructions I gave it. So I come back here, this is run. If I look in my Airtable base, we've captured that new lead here, right? Which is exactly what we want. So in order to make sure this works, you just basically want to turn on your make.com automation so it's always running automatically in the background. That's looking good. Now, when you publish this and you embed it on your website, you probably don't want the tools to show to the end user. You might want it to, you might not want it to. In most cases, you probably don't. So if you don't want this tool to show, what you can do is come down here and make sure you've got high tool usage from end users. And what this will do is if it's enabled, you will still be able to see the tools because you're the builder of this agent. So we always show you the tools so that you can debug what's happening. But if I was to share this tool, anyone with a link, and I copied this and I opened it in a incognito tab, then basically what would happen is these two tools would not show up to the end user. Like they're still happening behind the scenes. It's just that the end user or your lead won't see what's happening. They just see the actual text responses, which is more what you want, right? You don't want the lead to sort of see we're doing 5 different steps in the background while we process the response. But yeah. So with this, you've got a shareable link, you've got the embedded code. So if you're using Webflow, WordPress, whatever it is, you can sort of just copy this code and embed it into your site. And then you can end up with something like this, where you can just capture leads on your website. It's a bit more attractive to the end user. And yeah, so this is just more of a demo because it's something AI, but like I said before, you can make this more engaging, right? So you can turn this more into a lead magnet, or a calculator, or even like a personality test, something like that, right? Where because it's an AI chatbot, you can get it to do lots of interesting things, and then have the data collection be a bit more natural. So you might, for example, instead of here booking a meeting, you might have that as the next step. So it might be here, let's say I'm a design agency or SEO agency. I'd be like, analyze the lead's website. So I'll be like, here, we might say, go to the lead's website and analyze the content for SEO keyword density, something like that, right? And you can sort of share your findings with the lead. So then you can sort of present this chatbot as a SEO analysis tool. Like you'd probably want to improve the prompt a bit more to make it a bit more detailed, but you can incorporate some of your internal business processes here or your IP to turn this into more of a tool, so more of a lead magnet. So then when someone submits their details here, the AI chatbot responds with the value immediately and then follows up with a booking link saying, if you want to sort of learn more about this, go into more depth, have a custom whatever, you can get them to send in a booking link that sends them to Calendly. Cool. So yeah. So you can have it start with that form, as I said. If you just want it to start with the chatbot directly, you can also do that. Just turn off the start conversation with form, and you can also set prompt token limits on your chatbot here as well. Now, if you're just building this for the first time, there are free credits in Dumpling AI when you start up. So if you're just doing this chatbot, you can build it completely for free. And then once you sort of deploy it on your website, you will probably need to upgrade depending on the volume that you're getting on your chatbot, right? But yeah, that's basically it for this video. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If you need any sort of templates, also feel free to comment below. But with that, I will see you in my next video. Oh, one last thing before I wrap up, I wanted to show you, as these conversations come in, they all show up in the conversations tab. So you can actually just view the conversation that your AI chatbot is having. So this is the other benefit in addition to a form, right? Like you can see where your leads are interested. So where they're driving the conversation, and you can use that to inform your future marketing behavior. So yeah, super helpful. I like to look at this to see what people are actually talking to the AI chatbots about, and gives you that additional level of detail that you don't get with the traditional form. So we'll wrap it up there, and I'll see you in my next video.